ever noticed that your mind loves to play uninvited track in the background when you are completely unprepared? You might be sitting at your desk trying to plan a new project or a new business venture. You might be looking over your goals for the year, or maybe you're just standing in the line at the grocery store. Out of nowhere, this quiet, heavy little voice starts looping. There's not enough time. There's not enough money. You are going to run out. Who do you think you ask for more? It feels heavy. It completely feels real. And for most of us, our immediate instinct is to fight it. We try to force ourselves to think positively, or we spiral in anxiety, arguing with our own brains. But according to timeless mindset principle, and backed heavily by modern neuroscience, fighting that thought is the exact mechanism that keeps you trapped in it. Today we are hitting stop on that old loop. We are breaking down 3 definitive pillars which will help us understand how to stop negative thoughts and permanently clear away scarcity thinking. So grab a notebook, take a deep breath, and let's dive in. The first pillar is the mirror principle. This concept comes directly from the foundation law of the mind. Your current physical environment, your bank account, your relationship status, your job situation, it is not happening to you. It is simply a reflection of your current internal states. Let's unpack this analogy. Imagine you wake up in the morning, walked in the bathroom, and you look at the mirror. You noticed there is a smudge of dirt right on your cheek. Now, what would happen if you took a towel, reached out, and started aggressively scrubbing that glass of mirror to get the dirt off? That would be completely insane, right? You can scrub that glass until your hands bleed, but the dirt on your face is not going anywhere because the dirt is not on the glass, but it's on your face. To fix the reflection, you have to change the source. Yet, this is exactly what we do every single day. When we have scarcity thinking, we looked at our bank accounts or we see unexpected bills and we start panicking. We get angry, we try aggressively to fight, change, and manipulate the external environment, while our internal state remains completely flooded with fear, lack, and desperation. When you react to the physical world with panic, you create negative momentum. The deeper parts of your mind cannot distinguish between a thought of what you want and a thought of what you fear. When you panic over current conditions, you are essentially telling your mind, look at this lack. The lack is real. It's terrifying and it has total power over you. Because your mind follows the lead. It goes right to work noticing and creating more situations to match that panic. So how do we break this? The first step is you must practice a sense of calm detachment from the current circumstances. The next time you face a stress or a negative trigger, do not react. You stop, you look at the circumstance calmly and say to yourself, this situation is an old echo of where I used to be. It's old data. It has absolutely zero power of who I am now. By doing this, you stop scrubbing the mirror. You starve the problem of the emotional energy it requires to survive, and you open up space for something completely new. Pillar number 2. If you ever tried to apply that mirror technique and found it difficult, it feels like scarcity is literally screaming in your ear. I want you to take a deep breath, because there is something incredibly liberating here. It might be simply inherited. Your scarcity mindset is very likely not even yours. It was absorbed from your early environment. There has been research in neuroscience which reveals a fascinating truth about how our brains are built. When you are a child, specifically before the age of 7, our brain operates like a sponge. During these early years, you don't have a fully functional analytical mind to filter out bad information. You just absorbed everything around you and download it straight to your subconscious mind. You are essentially in constant state of learning by absorption. Psychologists often talk about the family money scripts. If you grew up in a household where people constantly stressed over every dollar, argued about bills, or said things like, "We can't afford that," your young brain didn't look at that objectively. It just absorbed the world how it works. Resources are scarce, and we must always be afraid of running out. Now think about the weight of this. You might be sitting in a comfortable room right now, completely safe, but your nervous system is running ancient threat detection habits to protect you from a lack that isn't even there. So how do we break out of this? The moment you realize the shame evaporates, you are not broken. You are not broken. You don't have a weak will. Your brain just was impressionable as a child, and it's running an outdated survival pattern. But your mind remains deeply adaptable throughout your life. You can use that same flexibility today to change this pattern. The key to applying this is realizing you don't have to fight the old pattern. You just have to override it. You must forgive your past environment. Realize it was just your natural habitat from childhood, and consciously choose a new narrative you want to live by going forward. The last point. This brings us to pillar number 3. The ultimate solution. You must learn to stand as an outside observer to break the pattern. So practically speaking, how do we stop an old low confidence loop the exact second it triggers? We do it by shifting our perspective from inside out to outside the thought. Imagine you are sitting in a movie theater watching a terrifying horror film. On the screen, there's a giant creature running after the main character. Your heart is racing. You are completely caught in the illusion. So you take a deep breath, you blink, you look around, you notice the exit sign. You look up, you see the light from the projector to the screen. Suddenly the fear vanishes. Are you actually in danger? No. You are sitting safely in a comfortable chair eating popcorn. The scary story is just the light being projected on the flat screen. When a negative thought pops up, most of us forget we are sitting in the theater. We think we are running for our lives inside the movie. To break the pattern, You have inside the building. You must become detached, unbothered observer of your own mind. When a negative thought pops up, most of us forget we are sitting in the theater. We think we are running for our lives inside the movie. To break the pattern, you have to step inside the building. You must detached, unbothered observer of your own mind. Here's an example. This is you here. You're having a negative thought. You need to step outside of it, be an outside observer, and detach from the situation. Doing this is backed by groundbreaking research done at the University of California. You see, scientists discovered when you step back and consciously watch your own thought as an objective outside observer, you completely halt the brain's automatic, unthinking emotional reaction. By refusing to engage emotionally, you literally starve the old mental habit. The exact second a familiar negative loop starts, don't try to argue with it. Don't blame yourself. Instead, tell yourself, look, my mind is playing the not enough track again. Fascinating. Look at what happened when you do that. You shift from saying, I am insecure, to noticing a feeling of insecurity passing through your head. That subtle shift cuts that emotional electricity feeding that thought. A thought cannot survive without your attention and your emotional reaction. Once you are in that neutral observer space, you immediately apply the law of substitution. You cannot simply try not to think about lack. You must replace it. You deliberately pivot your focus to a thought of abundance, capability, success. By standing as the observer and choosing a better thought, you take control of your mind's direction. When you stand as an observer, you stop scrubbing the mirror, you quiet the old habits of a stressed nervous system. You clear the slate so you can finally write a story of absolute abundance and confidence. As we wrapped up today's episode, I want to leave you with a concrete summary of the 3 principles we discussed today. First, stop scrubbing the mirror. If you see limitation in your environment today, don't give it the power of your panic. Remind yourself it's just an echo of the past. First. 2. Forgive your past. If you feel that familiar contradiction of scarcity, remind yourself this is an old habit trying to protect me. It's like your comfort zone. It will always try to protect you. But remind yourself, I appreciate trying to keep me safe, but I don't need it anymore. This is not who I am. And third, step inside the building. The moment a negative loop triggers today, step back, label it, and say, there is a scarcity loop again, and watch it fade away without your fuel. Then choose a better thought to replace it. Your mind is a sacred garden, my friends. Stop watering the weeds of the past and start planting the reality you actually want to experience. Thank you for tuning in for this episode. If it gave you a sense of clarity or helped you look at a mind in a whole new way, please take a moment to leave a like and subscribe. But more importantly, please share this episode with one person who needs to break their own loops today. Until next time, take a step back, look at the mirror, and keep choosing your higher self. Bye for now.